Don't be racist. I am a building and I've got news for you. Hey, there's...
So,
Okay.
you want to hear a good idea?
Sure.
Or actually, you want to hear a bad idea?
Yeah.
What
sure.
if we took our normal format and then just changed it so we just watched a bunch of episodes of like tokusatsu shows?
That sounds like a great idea. Hey, everybody.
That sounds like a horrible idea. But that's why we're doing it. No.
Yay! All right. So, hey, this is Tokuboys, the first
Tokuboys!
episode of a spin-off of another podcast we were doing for a couple months. So, if you followed us through Wrestle Boys, this is where Allie, the regular host of Wrestle Boys, I'm Mega Fighter, the co-host.
Welcome to the only podcast where one guy doesn't know a lot about tokusatsu and the other guy knows even less. So
yes. So what happened was we were doing our regular podcast and we were doing 2002 NWA TNA.
Yes.
And Allie got sick of that real quick.
Yeah. Even though I was planning on doing the next pay-per-view next week, which would be this week.
This would be this week, but now we're doing this instead because Allie was looking for reasons to not do the next pay-per-view.
I thought this was you. Oh, fuck it. Okay.
I mean, this was my idea, but you agreed.
I just came up with the name and then I made the logo.
Yes.
Yes.
So, we're starting off this first run of the podcast by going into the series that started it all in the West, basically. Oh, great! We're gonna get slammed by Toei and Hasbro.
No, we can legally play like 2 seconds of the guy saying Zyuranger. There we go.
Yes, Toyo Sentai, Zyuranger, however you pronounce it.
Yeah, I don't know the first word, but Zyurangers.
Zyuranger.
It's like a J, but it's a Z and a Y and a U.
With the series that would be adapted into the first season of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yes, and I didn't want to like pad out this podcast too much because we're recording this while we're waiting for something to happen, but the fucking balls on the guy who decided to pick this series to bring over.
Haim Saban had been trying since the 80s to adapt Super Sentai.
That like it takes cojones to not only take over probably one of the most confusing Super Sentai seasons I've ever seen, but like change it so much that it's barely recognizable.
And for the better, I'd say, but yeah.
Well, so we might get some fucking Zyuranger stands if we say that.
I don't care. They've not actually watched.
So
Zyuranger,
let me tell you about my tokusatsu experience.
Go ahead.
Mostly caught Turbo when I was a kid.
I think that was the same for me. Like
I started with Turbo, then I went to a foster home, and I recall, I think it was Lightspeed. I watched every season up to Lightspeed Rescue. The only problem was my foster parents are like super duper like think of the children.
Oh God.
So they thought that me watching this would be too violent, even though like we'd watch like Disney movies all the time, and like those parents fucking die.
Yeah, they shoot dogs in those movies. I don't know what they're on about.
Yeah, we watch Mulan.
That dude got exploded.
That dude died. So I don't know, man. I don't think I would suit up in like spandex and just hit people and sparks will fly out. Anyway, I got back with my family and I watched everything up until Mystic Force, and that's where I kind of phased that out of my life a little bit.
I feel like I had roughly the same. I remember watching Turbo. I definitely remember In Space. I remember parts of Lost Galaxy.
Also, they would throw in random episodes of Mighty Morphin in between because that was the popular one.
Yeah, I do remember Mighty Morphin from that time. I think I remember an episode of Wild Force.
I think
I know I watched a bit of SPD.
I think I watched all of Wild Force and SPD.
Yeah. I watched History of Power Rangers. Thank you, Linkara.
Hi, I'm Linkara.
And that led me into other tokusatsu reviewers, because there was like Easy Rider, who did like kind of a little bit of everything, Sentai, Power Rangers,
And
Kamen
I don't
Rider.
know any of those people.
Any of the one guy I said.
That one guy, I don't know him. Who is he?
He was on RVT. You remember that site?
No.
No,
I think that was the thing we tried to apply for, and then they were just like, no, and then they closed.
Well, let's be fair. They said they did reject us, but it wasn't like, it was very professional. I really wish we had gotten on there, but anyway. But then I also watched all of RPM because everyone talked about how good that was.
Oh yeah, we watched RPM together. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
The person I was dating at the time, we would watch Kamen Rider, and I never knew about Kamen Rider. I didn't even fucking hear of it, but that was fucking cool. Like,
that's cool.
I watched Deno and Kiva,
and a bit of Wizard,
and then we broke up, and then I was just like, all right, enough of that shit.
Oh yeah, I watched a good chunk of the early part of Gokaiger. I never finished it, and I really should.
Yeah, we should.
And I have been watching double, but I decided, let's go into Zyuranger for our review show.
I regret that immediately.
Oh my god. Okay, let us kick off with episode 1, The Birth.
Yeah, give birth. Wait, no,
give
not
birth.
like that.
So we start off, I believe, with the intro song, which fucking slaps.
That is an objective fact. Zyuranger's opening fucking slaps.
It is so good.
I described it as, it feels like it's adventurous.
You feel like you're going on an adventure. I imagine if I was a kid in Japan when this show was coming on,
you'd be fucking like, oh shit, I gotta.
Zyuranger's on. Yeah. And then I'd also be a very confused child.
Marketing towards dinosaurs, or marketing with dinosaurs. Good call.
Dinosaurs, man.
Kids fucking love dinosaurs.
Kids love dinosaurs. That's why they went with it when they adapted it into Power Rangers.
Even though
two of them
aren't dinosaurs.
Two of them are not dinosaurs, yes.
So, if this was like the weirdest version of that movie Melancholy that you've ever seen, just there's a planet drifting by Earth. But instead of like a marriage drama that ends in an apocalypse, it's just there's an evil witch on that planet.
Yeah, there's a planet approaching Earth, and it's like there's a spaceship that's going to head to planet Nemesis to check it out.
Yeah, and who do they send on the ship to planet Nemesis? If your answer was several children.
There were like 2 children on there. There was like a male astronaut and I think a female astronaut, and then there was like 2 children.
There's just some fucking kids on there.
Why are there kids?
Send them to space.
Do the kids even get names? I don't think they even get names.
No, they don't.
Oh my god.
And then like they land on the planet, and there's like just this old custodian on top of like a skyscraper, and he just randomly gets a giant ear.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're gonna open the thing.
How does he hear them opening the thing?
Why does he think yelling, stop, you'll open the thing, they'll fucking hear it while they're on a different atmosphere?
They're on a different atmosphere, on a completely different planet, and he would be picking up everything around him if he could hear that far.
Yeah, he gets the big ear, and then he just hears, like, hundreds of people having sex and like cars honking, and there's like a murder going on. Yeah. You're like, oh fuck.
Oh, my ear. But then,
yeah, don't open the thing because fucking evil witch Bandora's in there.
And then they open the thing because they don't know that evil witch Bandora's in there. And
you really should have told them about that.
You'd think, but no. It said they open the thing, and out come our villains: Bookback,
Toppat, that guy,
Toppat, Pleprecon, and Grifferzor, and also the Witch Pandora.
Yes, And the first thing she wants to know is how long has she been asleep, which is like the opening to Disgaea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except without Etna trying to kill you.
Except also Barbara Goodson in that too.
Also Barbara Goodson.
So good call there.
Yeah, she's been sealed up for 170 million years.
Yeah.
If I did more research, I would have checked what period that would be.
Probably a period without dinosaurs in it, but
That would be fucking... Let me check real quick.
Oh my god, yeah.
Okay, let's see. 170 million years ago.
Yeah.
Mesozoic.
Mesozoic era.
Mesozoic. Yeah, the research during the... Okay, so the Cretaceous, Jurassic, and Triassic were all during the Mesozoic, actually.
Okay, so there were dinosaurs.
Somebody did the research.
Hey, good job.
Good for them. Anyway, what's the best way to attack the planet that you considered home for 170 million years? It's attacking people with buildings.
It's usually the monsters attacking the buildings. This is already interesting to start off.
She has a spell that causes reverse 9/11.
Really?
Where the buildings fly into you.
The buildings attack the planes. Oh my god.
Some weird shit. And then one of them flies into the sky and then just comes back down and there's like a nightclub on it.
Yeah, Pandora's Palace. So it's just it's on top of a bunch of buildings that are Earth buildings stacked together. What I wonder is, how does Pandora even know what buildings are?
The fuck are these?
What the hell are these?
There's a lot of questions I have in this show, and none of them are answered.
Yes, and then she's flying around on her flying bicycle because she's based on the Wicked Witch.
Yes,
and she gets into like a tussle.
I was gonna say, she gets into a spat with the wizard who sealed her away.
Yes, the old man with the big ear turns out to be mysterious sage Barza. And she wraps something around his neck or something, and it turns into a snake.
Yeah, no, she grabs like a hose, and then it just kind of turns into like a snake, but not a venomous snake. It's just sort of like a python.
Yeah.
And then the python doesn't do anything, and then he cuts up the python and it turns back into a hose. A non-venomous snake that is typically a non-venomous snake that's typically what's the term? Just
harmless,
unless you let it choke you. Yeah, you're the food guy. Why would it choke you if you're the food guy?
Barza stepped on Sneck, and it's not good. You should have just booped its snoot.
Yes. He spins around, gets a uniform. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
He says, "Get the fuck off my planet, you old bitch." But she takes hostages. The children on the fucking spaceship. But
shrunk.
But they're tiny.
Yeah, she shrunk the spaceship into like a fucking model spaceship.
And she recites the quote of my favorite quote of the show so far. I hate children.
Pandora with the relatable motive. She just hates children. So I feel that.
She absconds with the children in the rocket ship. And the old man just goes, fuck. And then just goes
into an elevator.
Goes to the elevator, hits 365 or some shit.
Yeah, something.
And that sends him 2,000 floors down to I would describe it as a set from... Shit, what's the name of that movie? The one with the claymation monsters.
That's a lot of different movies. It's Clash of the Titans?
Yeah, it's they go to a set from Clash of the Titans.
Yeah. And
he's I gotta wake up the ancient warriors, man. Gotta wake them to fuck up.
And it's if somebody had just pressed the right combination on that elevator by complete accident.
Like a stoner or just a guy who doesn't know what... Or an indecisive guy who, changes the floor he wants to go to right after he pushes the button. It's 5.
Wait, 6. With everyone.
Yeah.
Would have just ended up down here in the fucking magical chamber of sleeping people.
Yes, they wake up the ancient warriors that sealed away Bandora. Goshi, May, Dan, and the boy.
Boy. Yes, we are saying Dan instead of Don, mostly because we hate this guy.
Fuck Dan.
Yes, it's oh yeah,
Sadly,
Sarma Tribe Knight Goshi.
unfortunately, they can't get the 5th door open yet. They don't say why, they just can't. But the
It's
other
stuck.
four, you know, the other four's got their shit ready. Even
This
though
guy's not ready.
May doesn't really seem super into it, but you know, I can't blame her.
I can't blame her. She's been asleep for like fucking millennia
Oh, yeah,
now.
his key just broke.
His key oh my god, yeah, he turned like the red key and it broke in the lock. God.
Fuck.
He couldn't have made like backup keys. You've had thousands of years.
You think he'd be ready?
Billions.
So, of course, these ancient warriors who were alive during the time of the dinosaurs all have motorcycles.
They all have motorcycles.
And they know how to drive and abide by traffic laws.
They have your tax write-off dirt bikes, Allie.
They got tax write-off dirt bikes, which is the best kind.
Even when they don't make sense, tax write-off dirt bikes.
We were doing research for a thing we wanted to write, and what ended up happening is we just sort of watched a bunch of the intros to Super Sentai.
And Allie knows the recurring theme.
The recurring theme of, like, slightly modified dirt bikes.
And those became known as tax write-off dirt bikes.
Because I just kept thinking that, like, after they wrapped up shooting, they would just write it as a tax write-off and just take the bike home.
Yes.
It's like, hey, I'm taking the fucking bike home. You know, even with the stupid paint on it.
Yes.
At least the Super Sentai guys know where to park their fucking bikes.
Yeah.
Because we're watching Kamen Rider Double also, but we'll review that later. But the
Yeah,
thing
nice.
is, the guy Shotaro in that show, he parks his Kamen Rider bike in front of the fucking place he lives in.
I love all of his complaints about how obvious it is that Shotaro is double.
Fucking stupid shit.
Because of how the bike obviously looks like double and it's parked outside of the fucking detective agency. Anyway.
So, you know, they drive to a beach.
They drive to a beach.
And, I would describe it as like a Peter Gabriel music video starts.
Yeah, well, first off, we got like the little
we got little claymen.
Little claymen dancing around, and they're kind of cute, and I want one.
And then they walk up to the claymen, and they just turn into full-size people and punch them in the face.
Yeah, just jump punch them. Bah! And like, that's funny, and it's like, I can't remember what they're called, but I just know them as the putties.
They're the Doras.
The Doras. Are they just the Dora monsters?
They're the Dora monsters, and then like if one has a theme.
Soldiers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dora monsters is just the name for the monster of the week. But Golem monsters start attacking them.
Yes, and a giant TV rises from the ocean.
With Pandora in it, and she starts taunting them.
Yeah, she taunts them from the giant ocean TV, and then like she reaches her hand out of the ocean TV, and then like the entire sky changes to like a Peter Gabriel music video.
It's like fucking purple and pink, like synthwave colors practically.
I expected like Big Time to start playing, or like Sledgehammer.
Like finger beams shooting out of like her hand that's way bigger for some reason. Now it's out of the screen. We were so confused.
Yes.
We were like, did we miss something here?
So what happened after that is, you know, they're being fucked. And we cut back to Barzan or whatever his name is. Barza. And yeah. Barza has come up with a reasonable way to open the door to the Fifth Ranger. To grab a miniature cannon and fire miniature cannonballs at the door.
You know, I mean, it worked.
Yeah.
And then we get finally the 5th member of the Zyurangers, Geki.
Geki. He kind of looks like He kind of looks like the dude from Akira.
Kind of does. Like
Especially
Tetsuo
like the red jacket.
Yeah. Or not Tetsuo.
Kaneda.
Kaneda.
It's kind of weird that they all know each other already. Like, I know that they fought with each other to seal away Bandora, but, like, I don't know. We're the audience surrogate. There isn't one.
Yeah.
So
we don't have an audience surrogate member who's
no
like
one's explaining anything to anybody.
Right. This feels weird to us. I guess, like, I mean, yeah, to some degree, I guess if you're like 16 series is in, or like 14, it depends. The numbering was weird at this time.
Yeah, but just look, man. I always have when I'm writing. I always want to make sure I answer the question: who are these assholes?
It's every story is someone's first. Every comic is someone's first.
Yeah.
You need to have people understand what's going on.
Who are these assholes?
So they they got trapped in like a cage at some point and were like surrounded by fire.
Yeah,
it took us a while to realize that cage and that fire was just in the fucking temple they were in.
They were in the skyscraper.
Yeah.
They were in the skyscraper. They go down. She set up this like really elaborate trap with like the sunbeam cutting a rope that'll drop like a big morning star or whatever on the rocket ship, and the rocket ship's like tiny now.
Yeah, and there's like a fucking like an hourglass that's ticking down.
Yeah.
Which just makes me wonder, why don't they just flip the hourglass? What happens when that gets flipped around?
So, they show up and they try to rescue the kids, and they kind of do for a bit until a massive hole's blown in the wall, and like a giant like Spartan soldier just reaches in and grabs the rocket ship from them.
I think he grabs Geki, right?
Yeah, he grabs Geki and the rocket ship.
Yeah, that is Dora Titan.
Dora Titan.
And I think, is that around where we end?
Yeah, that's the ending. And then reggae.
And then the fucking end theme plays, where it's this weird like reggae track.
Jumbo jumbo.
Jumbo jumbo jumbo. I do love the lyrics of the earth is round and blue. Everybody knows that.
You haven't met AJ Styles.
Second flat earthers. The Zyurangers believe in the round earth.
They think the earth is round, and they're fucking cavemen.
And they're fucking cavemen. They didn't even know that the earth was a thing.
The ending's weird. It shows them in a bunch of like weird slice of life situations of like they're playing baseball and they're being silly at a wedding, and just a bunch of
and like there's like a fucking Mazda or something.
Yeah, there's just a Mazda.
It's just like, what the fuck is happening? I don't understand, and that is a feeling that is gonna stick even as we head into episode 2, the revival.
Fuck the revival.
Hashtag FDR.
So
Wait,
just
on a news conference.
The vague confusion continues as we just get like a news show where people just get into an argument.
And somebody says, "You always blame the aliens." I'm like, hasn't it been aliens a ton of times in Super Sentai before this?
It's just this one guy who's like, I'm telling you, the fucking colored dudes and the fucking aliens are gonna fucking fight.
Not those colored dudes. I mean the green dudes.
No, the dudes with the colored outfits.
Oh, the dudes with the colored. Oh, okay.
I said.
Okay, sorry.
I said color dudes, but it sounded like colored dudes.
Oh, colored dudes. The colored men of the NWA. No, shit, that's a joke that's not gonna work.
They're bickering about a magazine, and they mention the ancient dinosaurs, and we kind of get a little bit of their backstory, except Saber-tooth tiger and the mastodon aren't.
It's a mammoth.
A mammoth.
But still, not a dinosaur.
Geki lost his family in the Dino Wars because Bandora like they were part of warrior tribes who trained to fight with dinosaurs, and like each dinosaur
Worship the
represented
dinosaurs. Yeah.
represented their family and clan, except for the not dinosaurs.
For the not dinosaurs.
And of course, Geki had his whole family die. She brainwashed some of the dinosaurs and brought her own people to fight them. And by the way, her power's the devil.
She is backed by the power of Satan.
She's in cahoots with Satan.
So Satan is real and hates the dinosaurs and children.
So they fucked her shit up. They used their ancient Jurassic robots
Oh my god.
to fight her back and seal her away.
Yes.
And they sealed her in a magical trash can and threw her ass into space.
Threw her to a planet that would eventually approach Earth 170 million years later.
So everyone clears out, and then Bandor's pissed. So
Isn't
she
a
just
planet approaching like the Earth, the plot of like that one Junji Ito book, Hellstar Ramina.
I think so. I mentioned fucking Melancholy.
Yeah, Melancholia.
Yeah, Melancholia.
Man, we are just coming with all sorts of the obscure references today.
So yeah, fuck that shit. Bandor's going to the moon.
She just left and went to the moon instead of staying on Earth.
And she goes to Pleprecon, who just very wholesomely, like, just quietly makes a little mud man and turns a bunch of gears and pulls a lever, and he goes on like a conveyor belt. And it's just like, I don't remember them paying this much attention on fucking Power Rangers.
No, they kind of cut like bits of it just down.
And we get our first monster, a Dora Skeleton, or Dora Skeleton.
Or a skeleton. I wasn't sure if that was a typo in the subs, but then I listened and Pleprecon absolutely says skeleton later.
Yeah, and he's like a musketeer skeleton.
He's like
man.
a musketeer skeleton monster.
Then she launches the kids back into Earth
On the model spaceship.
Fuck them kids. Then we have the montage of like the children on the rocket flying through the streets. And like it cuts to them going like 3 miles an hour, and then it cuts to them screaming. Ah!
Somebody stop that model spaceship.
Full of small children. And like the cameramans chase after it, and the cameramans can see the children, and I'm just like, this is some good ass fucking cameras you got in 1992, dude. You fucking...
And then there's the point where like two schoolgirls are walking by, and the space shuttle like whooshes past, and like the skirt flip.
My skirt.
And I'm just like, yeah, screw you too, Japan.
Yeah, we gotta get one in per season, I guess.
Why did I put in my notes just an emphatic what?
I don't know.
Is this when we started getting into the fight in the carnival?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because fucking Dora Skeleton's head was spinning, and we were so lost.
Yeah, what they do is like they attack, they morph, and then what happens is they kind of like decapitate the skeleton, and then his head just starts floating upward and spinning. You're like, woo, woo.
It is so fucking insane.
And they fight at a theme park just for no reason.
Oh yeah, and fucking Dora Skeleton's on like the fucking like
he's just riding on the fucking carousel.
The merry-go-round.
And he's like, wee! And then
I'm making like fucking face-off jokes the whole time.
I'm Castor Troy.
Like fucking Castor Troy shooting Sean Archer's son.
It reminded me of an episode of Baki where like the karate, I think it's the karate master and this big homeless guy just sort of face off
in an amusement park, and you started noticing how it looks similar.
And I just thought, are we gonna see two burly dudes fighting on a roller coaster?
I want to believe that this amusement park was in fact the basis for that Baki fight. That's
Maybe.
the same. That's the same amusement park.
The only weird
in
thing
Japan.
about that episode of Baki is they're both so good at karate they had an entire battle in their head, and one of the guys loses the battle in their head so hard that his mind becomes wiped and he's mentally handicapped for the rest of his life. It's the weirdest. Baki's fucking weird. We'll get to it later.
This god. Yeah, around this time, I was so lost that I put down the phrase, I feel like I understand less.
So, they get taken to the bullshit dimension, which is just like a black room with a smoke machine and a tree.
Yeah, we're just in another dimension now. The
And skeleton summons several Laparkas.
Several Laparkas. He has his own special, like, skeleton demons. This is impressive for a monster who was made just today.
And in the tree, a bomb and the rocket ship.
Yeah, there's a bomb.
Light the fuse, bring the boom, dynamite. Okay.
Well, Geki does call it dynamite, even though that's more of a bomb.
So the ground kind of opens up, and then they just throw his head into hell.
Go to hell, skeleton.
And then he blew up.
And then he blows up, and then that's it.
They take the rocket ship out of the tree, and then they kind of hot potato it back and forth because they don't know what to do. And like, I think Geki escapes, and everyone else blows up, and the bomb's actually not too bad. It's fine. They're fine.
They're fine. It would have killed those kids, but they're fine. And then, like, Dora Titan shows back up, and he starts wiggling his fingers menacingly at them.
Ooh.
Ooh.
But
and then
never
they
fear,
summon
the T-Rex is here.
Yeah, they summon the guardian beast Tyrannosaurus. Just the Tyrannosaurus for right now.
Getting the T-Rex, Shinji.
Getting the T-Rex, Geki. And he unites with it, so he puts like two hands together and they like link up a bit. And now he can pilot the T-Rex guardian beast.
Yeah, and then they fight. I think he's dealt with pretty quickly. Or at least for now.
Dealt with.
The other Rangers grab the spaceship and just start screaming at the children.
Yoshi starts yelling at these kids like, "Hey, don't cry! Stop screaming!
Stop crying!" And they're like massive because they're still in the miniature spaceship.
Yes, it's just like, ah! And then May, being the girl, is the one to calm them down and just like, it'll be okay.
Just walk outside the spaceship.
Just walk outside the spaceship. They were lucky that these kids didn't walk out the spaceship and just fall to their tiny deaths.
Tiny deaths.
tiny child deaths.
So getting out of the spaceship turns them normal, and then they get the idea, let's fire the fucking rocket at the Titan.
Oh yeah, Dora Titan's not down yet. So and like fucking Geki
okay, it was more like a stalemate. Yeah.
They were in a stalemate, but he's not down yet. So they shoot the model rocket at him.
And it turns into a real rocket, and then it just sort of pings off his helmet. Like, ping!
And there goes just like
several billion dollars of technology.
of fucking aerospace technology, courtesy of like Japanese NASA.
Thanks,
Japanese NASA, which I'm going to look up.
There's a T-Rex dropkick.
There's a T-Rex dropkick. I put down the thing I was not expecting to see from this show, robot T-Rex Grundle.
Oh yeah, because they keep using this shot where like they're underneath both of them.
Yeah, so we get like just the underside of that robot.
Episode 2 note, billions of yen wasted.
JAXA, the Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency.
So yeah, Bendora's pissed. She recalls the Titan.
Recalls it. It does not die. She just sends it back. I like the version where she sends it back and the fucking Titan just drops right on her palace.
It's still huge.
Yes.
So we got episode 3, Fight in the Land of Despair.
Fight in the Land of Despair.
AKA, what?
Oh my god. So we start off with training where like they're training in like a forest and they're training in a forest, and they sort of mention that the new weapons they have kind of suck. Yeah, their weapons suck, and it's like I think it's because they got partially destroyed in one of the fights. Yeah, they got partially destroyed during the Dora Skeleton fight. But good thing they know Boy, because Boy knows about the special weapons. the legendary weapons in the Land of Despair.
Yeah.
I don't think they mentioned the Land of Despair just yet, but they are in the Land of Despair.
And then Hiroshi's home from school.
Hiroshi is coming home from school, and he got a bad grade, so he doesn't get to hang out with Yoshio.
Because he's stupid.
So he's got to study. And Pandora is like, oh man, these poor kids having to spend all their time inside studying. I thought you hated
Meanwhile,
children.
40 minutes earlier, I hate children.
Yeah. And
so
then, like,
the kid's just disappointed. It's like, man, I wish I could play with my friend Yoshio. Fuck my mom. And then the mom just falls down a hole.
falls down a hole, and then he falls down the hole.
Yes.
And that's like... And
the mom
that's
fell
like
in a fucking hole, Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Go ace that. I don't know.
So yes, they can get their weapons from the Land of Despair. They fought like a 5-headed dragon or something and defeated it.
And killed it, and the weapon sprung from its head like fucking Medusa or something.
Yes, and they must go to the Land of Confusion. I mean, Land of Despair.
So it's very weirdly coincidental that Pandora managed to trap 2 people in the place where
they were going.
Rangers needed to go. They were going to go there to get the good weapons.
So
also you trapped 2 people there
in the underground base where they like hang out and stuff with the wizard. There's just a closet door, and there's like a small floating island, and that's the Land of Despair.
And they go to it.
You got to go to it. And that's also the place where Pandora banished the kid and his mom.
Yeah. It's very coincidental, and I'm very confused as to why it's so easy to converge the 2 plots like that.
Then she summons Dora Phil Collins.
Dora Phil Collins!
So, they're in the Land of Despair now. They're walking. Dan's thirsty. And Dan decides he's going to run after what he thinks is water. And he just falls off a hill.
God, Dan sucks.
Then they get attacked by the horny monster.
Yeah, it's just horns popping out of the ground, just constantly ramming. Because it's Dan, Geki, and Goshi in one group, and Boy and May in the other.
Yes.
And they're kind of walking around there. They're passing by like these stone statues, which... Do they explain the stone statues in that moment?
Well, they explain it later, so I'm going to say narrative.
But
they find the statues, they get attacked, they find out why they're statues later.
Yeah. And they are attacked by Dora Minotaur. Yeah.
So Boy and May are also attacked, but they're just attacked by the golems. And what they do is they put on their fucking dino belt, whatever they're fucking... The dino buckles, and they just run up and start punching people with them.
I gotta say, that's something I don't think we see in Power Rangers, unless I'm wrong on that, but...
Fucking clock them with the fucking dino buckles.
They punch him with the morpher, and that's actually kind of cool. I like that. Because they don't have weapons, so they just decide, you know what, I'm just gonna hit you with this.
It's like
it's hard and
it's like my brass knuckle morpher.
Right? It's like fucking Ixa or something.
So, back with the other 3, the blue, the red, the black.
Yeah, with those 3. Tyranno Ranger, Triceratops Ranger, and Mammoth Ranger.
They all go, oh! And then they transform.
Oh! Yes, every time when they transform, there's like a, oh! A shout of,
it's like it's like a confirmation vocalization, but they're all just going, oh!
Oh!
At each other.
Yeah.
Hiroshi's... So, yeah, it kind of goes back and forth between fighting with Geki and fighting with Boy and May.
Yeah.
And Boy and May find out they found Hiroshi. He's in I would say like a 6-foot hole.
Yeah. He's struggling.
He's struggling in this I don't know, like I spent an afternoon with the shovel-sized hole.
I can't get out. And they're trying to save him, and then Gryffindor attacks.
Yeah, and they throw rocks off a hill.
I want a version where Gryffindor just knocks aside Goshi and then also starts trying to save the kid.
Hey, get out of the way!
I'll save you, Hiroshi.
I'll do it. Fuck it.
So is this where we started noticing the pattern that Gryffindor sleeps a lot, or is that in the later episodes?
I don't know.
Because anytime they're in Pandora's palace, Gryffindor just seems to be asleep during the scenes.
So yeah, just Bandor's pissed. She yeets that fucking scepter all the way from the moon while summoning the power of hell and the devil.
To make her monster grow. Dora Minotaur wasn't even losing. She just really wanted to fucking just stomp on these motherfuckers.
Fuck these guys.
So, you know, the points to Pandora on that.
So they summon the Zords, which is just a whole bunch of stock footage.
Whole bunch of stock footage that we are going to see a lot of
and
all the time.
Sabretooth, for some reason, has like this weird kikung, kikung, kikung.
I was more bothered by the Triceratops guardian beast having treads. Like, aren't these ancient dinosaur guardian god monsters or whatever?
And
Why
the
does it
weird
have,
part
like,
is, they
treads?
just leave Boy to go, like, he leaves Boy to go escort Hiroshi. And just, it's just like, all right, Boy, go get beaten up.
Oh yeah, because we haven't summoned the Tyrannosaurus yet, or the pterodactyl yet.
Yeah.
My mistake.
So
I
just
want to talk about the volcano eruption.
Yeah, a volcano erupts every time the stock footage for the pterodactyl plays.
Yes, so we just imagine it's the same volcano every time.
It's just there's just a chief in a grass skirt holding a spear, and he's just looking at the hill blowing up, and he's like, "Not again!
Oh,
fuck!
Damn it!
My village has been here for 200 years. God damn it!
By the end of the season, won't be here for 201."
So yeah, they escape, and Hiroshi is with May. He bounces Hiroshi to May.
Yeah.
And what happens is he trips on a branch.
And then he starts crying because he wants his mama.
I love my mom, I tripped on a branch. And then he turns into fucking stone.
Yeah, like, May's like, don't cry, Hiroshi. If you cry, I think did she say his name?
It was like,
Hiroshi?
Yeah, his name's Hiroshi. She called him Hiroshi. Don't cry, Hiroshi, you'll turn into stone.
And we were like,
fucking crying.
And we were like, when was that established?
Well, they looked at the statues, but there was never a connection of turning to stone.
I feel like we missed a piece of dialogue somewhere, but...
Well, okay, so the way it works is if you spend 12 hours there or succumb to despair, you turn to stone.
Got it.
No one said a goddamn thing about that.
No one said a goddamn thing. But yeah, and this kid is immediately turned into full stone statue. He's dead.
Oh my god, he's dead.
He's just dead, and now we're starting episode 4. Reawaken legendary weapons.
Can you can you explain what just happened to me, recap guy? Turned to stone because he tripped on a fucking branch.
I put down the sentence, why is this a problem? Oh yeah, because Pandora recalls Dora Minotaur because it's gonna get cold.
Just immediately, because the nights are like blizzarding cold.
On the land of despair, it's really cold. And I was like, why is
they're all in their mechs, and then the mechs just kick them out.
because they have to prove themselves. It's a test to gather the legendary weapons, so no help. God, I hate the Guardian.
We're freezing to death, you asshole.
Dude, the Guardian Beasts fucking suck.
They do.
They really do. And they're struggling to figure out how are we going to get through this area. I think at one point they figure out that they're going in circles.
Yeah, they just go back to the campfire that they were at already. Then they find they all gang up, and they're just like, "Hey, did you find Hiroshi?" I was like, "Yeah, they did."
Well, no, because they find the invisible wall. Remember? Geki Boy and Geki, Dan, and Goshi find an invisible wall.
Oh yeah, they find an invisible wall, and they gotta put their hands up and mime that it's a wall. And there's no animation, or sometimes you could trace over the film to just have a little flash when they run against it. But no, they're fucking just holding their hands up. Oh my god, there's a wall in the way.
And since they don't have a cell phone to turn themselves into objects, they can't just pass through the wall.
Taking around with jokes. So they just kind of run toward the camera and jump, and that's how they break it.
Yes. And like eventually they reconvene with Boy and May and Hiroshi's
and then they're
dead.
like, Hiroshi's dead, but whatever.
And then they find, I can't remember how they find this door. I just have the note that this door is way too modern.
Oh yeah, they were just walking through some ruins and they just find like an IKEA door covered in vines.
And like they go to open the door and the door shoots fire at them.
Yeah, Boy gets lit on fire.
I don't think he gets lit on fire, but he gets fire shot at him. Oh wait, maybe he does get lit on fire.
He gets lit on cartoon fire. Like he's just got like a fire effect over him.
Yes, a gif of fire is covering him right now.
Yes. And so they enter the ruins and they find a mysterious sword sitting in a stone. And when you touch it, you get giant teeth and like Oni paint.
Yeah, Dan immediately grabs, like, they have to get rid of the evil sword. And, like, Dan immediately grabs this fucking sword.
I'm an Oni now.
And, like, ah! And that's like, oh my god.
And then fucking Geki's like, oh, let me do it. And then he goes, ah!
But he's able to fight it off better because he's not the shit man like Dan.
Well, I think he resists it because other people start grabbing him.
Yeah.
And the evil, like, dilutes.
And then he fucking yeets the sword.
Yeah, he fucking throws that shit.
And it shatters and it opens the wall where the legendary weapons are.
Yeah, he threw it at a random wall and that's where they were.
Yeah.
And Bandor's there.
And Bandora's there and she's like, ha ha ha, you can't.
You're gonna turn into stone.
And like, you can't talk to the weapons.
You can't Well, yeah, they start turning to stone and they can't get the weapons, so Geki just starts pleading to the weapons to just, come on.
You passed your test.
Come on, man, come on.
And it's like, these swords don't know Japanese, unlike you for some reason.
Why do you know Japanese?
Why do I know Japanese?
Why am I here? But the swords are like, fine. And then they
he
explode.
says like all the weapons go to him or something.
I made the joke that like all the weapons Geki gets all the weapons.
So he just gets like all fly at him at once and impale him. And then Bandora, like, I guess because they get the weapons and they're unstoned.
Yeah, they're unstoned, they get the weapons, so Bandora makes herself so big that she can grab the island they're on.
The land of despair, and starts shaking it.
Even though it's just a big foam rock.
And it's like,
see, thanks, Satan.
God, these are some powers I don't think Rita ever used, but goddamn, that's amazing.
They go to a random chamber and they find Hiroshi's mom.
And they throw her off screen so she's safe now.
Yeah, she's just off screen so she's safe.
And like, I think the fight, like, they start using the weapons, and you had the question at some point of like, is Bandora still huge and shaking the land of
Yeah, there's
despair?
a fight, and then it just cuts back to her after the fight's over, and she's still shaking the fucking, like, the prop, and going, ah!
Like, when I say there's a fight, I think it's like, it's the showcase of, like, the first time they do, like, the power blaster thing, where it's like, you know, you combine the weapons.
Oh yeah, you combine all the
like
weapons and it becomes like a crossbow with the sword in it, and then it shoots a laser instead of firing the sword. It shoots
lasers and just blows up the, I think they killed Dora Minotaur, basically.
Yeah.
And like Bandora attacks them with her halitosis.
Yeah, she just breathes on them and just smoke comes out her mouth. then the whole island blew up.
And they, like the island pretty much blows up, and they escape. Like the Zyurangers, Hiroshi and his mom escape, or they're still in the island. I can't remember.
No, they just arrive on a bridge.
Yeah, they arrive on a bridge, okay.
And then Geki gets up, and Hiroshi thanks him, and then he's just like, "Remember to study for your test."
Wait, we forgot. Yeah, because they were on the land of despair for a bit. Because they find Hiroshi's like statue body, and the mom starts crying.
Oh yeah,
and her teardrop hits Hiroshi's statue body and brings him to life, and we were pissed.
Well, because she's crying too, and you think they would both turn into stone, right?
You think that it would be like, because she's also going through despair. The lore established that
if you go through despair, you're stone.
You're stone. She should be turning to stone. That's the lore. Fuck your magic tears that cure stone.
Yeah, and then they teleport back, and then Geki just grabs the kid and just goes, "Now study for that test you're doing."
Yeah, don't forget to listen to your mom and study Hiroshi's like, how did you know about that?
How do you know shit about this kid?
Why did I put down, how are you not dead? Did the Land of Despair blow up at some point?
Blew up!
Oh yeah, and they didn't die. They just teleported.
Blew up!
And they just teleported onto a bridge in Japan, and they're safe now.
And that's the end of episode 4. Episode 4 note. What?
You know, it would have been probably more poignant as a before we get to episode 5. It probably been more poignant if Hiroshi's mom had also turned to stone and like they were statues, but they were hugging each other. So it's tragic, but it's also kind of like touching in a way.
Yeah.
And there's like a sort of you can't save everyone kind of thing. But no,
Mega Fighter, that would require these 5 people to have character.
Oh, God. God.
I'm sorry, I don't know anything about these people. Like, here's what I know. Geki.
The leader.
Goshi, the angry one?
Kind of angry all the time.
Dan sucks. Boy.
Is actually a boy. May.
Tired.
Girl.
Tired girl.
But yeah. But now we get to what is probably the best episode of this batch we watched.
Yeah, the only one I gave a shit about.
Episode 5, Scary Riddles.
Scary Riddles.
It's super creeps. The name is not good, but this episode starts off really nice and really strong with what we called Japanese Ben Stein. Where it's like this dude was like
this dude's just at a playground with a boy
in like a suit, and he's got like a fucking like, what do you call it?
He's got he's got that like King Tut headdress,
like an Egyptian headdress of some sort,
and he just starts asking this kid riddles.
It's a game show now. It's like he's got like a chair with a clock on it. He's got like a microphone prop, and he's just telling him, like, he's asking him like, solve my riddles. It is riddle me piss.
Riddle me piss.
Riddle me piss.
And yeah, it was just this guy asked riddles, and if you fuck up a riddle, you fly the fuck away.
You fly the fuck away. He turns into his true form, Dora Sphinx, and he just starts fucking flapping his wings, and the wings.
He kind of like pumps his arms to flap his wings because he can't get the wings to flap without pumping his arms.
Because they're attached in the costume.
Yeah. He doesn't have autonomous wings, so it's just like, I gotta.
And then the wings create like wind strength that just blows this child away.
Yeah, that kid's fucking out of here.
And there's some pretty nice riddles in this episode. I don't know if there were any of them.
I don't remember all the riddles, but some are good ones.
Yeah, there's a really good one we'll talk about because I do remember it very nicely.
So, meanwhile, in Harajuku.
We're just in Harajuku with Dan and Boy, and we marked out for a McDonald's.
They're at the McDonald's.
So we just kept making jokes about that Dan and Boy went to get McDonald's.
I was making jokes about it looking like Kamurocho and just Cosmic Curious just bonking someone's head in the background.
And there's like a UFO catcher in the background, and it's like, yeah, I kind of want to play UFO catcher right now. That's what Cosmic Curious would be doing.
So there's something wrong with Geki. He keeps imagining that he's in a desert. He's in a desert where there's mysteriously tire treads.
Yeah, he's in a random desert, just kind of like, and he keeps having these dreams since he first woke up from the chamber of whatever.
And everyone's disappointed that they didn't get to go to McDonald's.
Yes.
Or something.
or something.
Or that like Geki's not resting is the thing they
Geki's
talk about.
Geki's not getting enough sleep because of the night terrors he's having.
But
because of Pandora's Pandora.
Never mind
Palace.
that shit. Pandora's square dancing right now.
We're in Pandora's Palace and everyone's just having a big old dance with
they're fucking dancing. They're dancing like they're at a church.
It's like it's Dora Sphinx is there, Pandora, Bookback, Toadpad, and Leprechaun. They're all dancing like, yeah,
Swing your partner round and
children.
round. Make sure you leave some room for God between you.
Hey, now, make sure you leave some room for Satan between you.
Make sure Satan's your third dance partner, so no skin on skin, no anal. Well, maybe lots of anal.
No, anal indeed with Satan, as we know.
Anal.
But anal. But like at one point, I forget where the conversation turned. Griffosaur is still asleep, by the way. This is just how he enters every scene. Like anytime we enter the palace, Griffosaur's just asleep in the corner. But like at some point, like I forget what the conversation leads into, but I just remember Pandora about to fucking give like Leprechaun her ring hand.
She was just like, make some, or just like get shit done now.
Get shit done now. She's like curling up her ringed hand into a fist, like, oh shit. You're about to get the ring hand, Leprechaun. It's great.
Calls him a loser.
Calls him a loser. We cut back to Dan and Boy at like a playground, I think. And then
they're just
like
at a playground.
And fucking Dan goes like, oh, hold on, there's like this girl I gotta call or something. And like a lot of questions come to mind.
Yeah, they were like flirting with a girl.
Yeah, and it's like, one, Dan, where did you get a phone? Two, how do you know how a phone works and phone calls are?
Do you understand the concept of currency? Did you have a barter system?
Do you understand telecommunications? And also, why are you so awful?
Why,
dude?
Why, Dan?
Why do I hate Dan so much? He is actually the worst.
I wrote down Geki's having another cum dream, and I don't know why.
Is he because he was having another dream?
Oh yeah, he crosses his eyes when he like starts going into those weird dreams.
And Dora Sphinx in his human form and Japanese Ben Stein form. I think we also compared to Paul Rubens.
Yeah, he looks like a Japanese. He looks like a Japanese fucking Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee Herman, yeah. I think it's the cheeks that do it because he's got kind of like a bit of rouge on his cheeks.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're getting the Pee Wee look.
So Dan fucks up the Riddles 3.
No, it was Boy.
Oh, Boy fucks up the Riddles 3. Then Dan fucks up the Riddles 3.
Yes. So this is where, like, when he's questioning Boy, he lays out a pretty good riddle of like there are 5 pieces of tofu or something like that.
There were 5 steam buns, and the bird dropped one. How many are there?
Yeah, and we were like, I was completely puzzled by this, and then like when it comes up like ding ding ding, no, the answer is 6.
Yeah, because the 5 were already there, and he dropped the extra one down.
Yeah, that's where like the puzzle was, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. I like that.
So, Mega Fighter, what kind of appropriate punishment would be for someone who fails the Riddles 3, and it has to be Egyptian themed? Keep that in mind. Trees,
yes. I don't know why I put down Dan. This is a horrible strategy.
Oh yeah, Dan was upset that Boy got captured, so he was like, "I'm gonna go there, and I'm gonna be wrong."
Oh my god, yeah. He goes back and like I think like he was talking with Geki and May and Goshi in the chamber in the hideout.
Yes,
because they were explaining Leprechaun or not Leprechaun, Dora Sphinx, and
Dora Sphinx.
And like his riddles and like how they get harder, and it's like, how do we beat him then? And it's like, I'll just go there and get it wrong.
It's like, Dan, no.
And then he runs off, and then I think that's when the flashback happens.
Yes,
that's when the nightmare happens with the crossed eyes.
And so yeah, they're turned into trees.
Oh my god, hold on. We gotta get to the part where where they're driving off to find where like all the kids are being taken by Doris Things. They just see Dan just flying in the sky.
Yeah, Dan's just flying through the sky.
Ah!
Ah! I'm not there yet.
Guys, help! I got the riddles wrong.
I got him wrong. Just like I said I would.
Follow that, Dan.
Follow that Dan.
Follow him. That's how they get to the forest, where it turns out like all the people who got it wrong are trapped in like trees. All the children and Boy and Dan are trapped in trees.
Yeah, and pretty much like they're going to be cut down into a golf course, and they're all going to die.
This is a forest that they're planning to like cut down to develop a golf course. And I gotta admit, at first I was like, "Why trees?" But when he started explaining like the end game of it, I was actually kind of impressed by the evilness of it. Like, we're gonna put you in trees that are gonna get cut down. It's not just you're in a tree; it's this tree's going the fuck down and you're in it.
Fuck you, you're a tree.
Fuck you, you're a tree and you're gonna die.
So they go to like a nearby amphitheater.
Yeah, where for some reason I don't know which one I reacted to, but I said we got it because there was like a really yeah. I think it was May's turn because it basically all the Rangers that are still standing take turns solving the riddles.
Yeah,
and May's riddle, or the one that May gets beaten on, is like, what bird has its double in the middle? And because we've been watching Kamen Rider Double, we figured, it's got to be a W. And we started thinking, what bird has a W in the middle? And you guessed owl?
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, it was owl. We would have beaten
riddle skills. Fuck you. Fuck you, May.
We wouldn't have beaten Doris Sphinx. Yeah, fuck you, May. You're a tree now.
Why did I just write Toyota Corolla?
I don't.
Oh, yeah, it was because of a junk car as one of the answers.
But Goshi, like, fucking, he doesn't even bother with the riddles. He just wants to punch this dude. Yes. And fucking Doris Sphinx just keeps teleporting around him, and then he finally, like, times up, and he's like, desk pad. That's the answer to the riddle. And he's like,
I was like, what's annoying if it's over your head, but convenient underneath you, and it's like it's a desk pad.
Yeah, something like that. It was really weird to understand. But he just gets, fuck you, Goshi, you're a tree now. And then
Geki gives it a shot, and he gets to the end.
He blitzes through 4 riddles easy.
And just Doris Sphinx just talks about like what's something that can never go away, and then Geki's like justice.
Is there such a thing as an absolute? And like Geki goes, justice is the one absolute. And then Doris Sphinx says, no, evil is absolute. Like that's not a riddle, that's an opinion piece. You lose, Doris Sphinx. You go in the tree now.
Yeah, that doesn't work, and he gets blown away into the desert.
Doesn't he?
Tire tracks. He tries to get in the T-Rex, and the T-Rex just goes, nah.
No. And it's like, man, fuck these guardian beasts.
They suck.
And then the episodes are. I mean, it's a to be continued because they do like kind of 2-parter stories, and we did like 5 episodes.
Yeah.
But God, fuck these guardian beasts.
Yeah, they suck.
Zords are way better because you don't have to deal with sass with the Zords.
You fucking sass me, giant robot.
No. We're saving the planet. Fuck off.
So there was most like 4/5 of that. I felt like picking this was a mistake.
Episode 5 is where it was weirdly kind of nice. Like, this is what I like out of my tokusatsu. Just a simple, like...
This is a guy with a gimmick.
This is a guy with a gimmick. You can follow it. You don't have to, like... Even, like, the presence of kids didn't bother me, because it's like, watch these kids solve these riddles and then fail and get turned into trees.
Yeah, fuck them kids.
There was, like, a lot of fun to it. There was a little mystery element to it. I love seeing Dan go flying through the air.
Fuck Dan.
Fuck that guy. Fuck Dan. All my homies hate Dan.
All my homies hate Dan.
But for starting off on Zyuranger, I was mostly confused.
Mild confusion was the best way I could describe.
Mild confusion. I'm hoping that it's gonna be a little easier now that the early stuff's out of the way and they're starting to get a feel for like how to do a monster of the week here.
You think they would have experience with that?
You'd think, having done like 15 other series before this, but no, I guess not.
I don't know if they keep the same writers.
They probably they don't. No, they don't keep the same writers. I think because this is because I know the dude like who did Jetman is not the same writer. I don't even think it's the same writers from episode to episode. I just know like there's probably like a main writer throughout the series, and then like episode to episode guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's our first episode, Tokuboys.
Yeah.
Overall,
Jumbo.
Overall thoughts, I would say, are just like, wow, like Power Rangers had an uphill battle with this.
They did. It's
They
so
really did.
confusing. I tried my best to pay attention.
I feel like there were plots going on, but I was so lost sometimes with just like the weird visuals and just like some of the world building that was going on.
And also the
here.
we don't explain things part.
And there's a feeling that they're not explaining shit to you. There's not good development going on here.
It kind of is your children pretty colors. Kind of a little bit.
Yeah, show the kids pretty colors and pretty sounds.
And it's better in like later Super Sentai because I feel like they don't do that. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I started liking it again as an adult, is there's kind of a way you can do kids' entertainment that everyone else can like it, because you're not really pandering to children.
Yeah.
Or you're not really, like, assuming that, I don't know, Billy's a dumb fuck, and I'm just gonna sit him here and have him look at explosions. Like, there's actually, like, substance.
Yeah. But here, it's mostly just, like, pretty colors and
dinosaurs.
And dinosaurs. So yeah, I think I'll wrap things up.
Yep, we're good.
Yeah.
Wrestle Boys is, I wouldn't say on hiatus, I would just say it's slowing down a little bit until we get back to WWE.
Yeah, get back to WWE. Or until we run out of like episodes of Zyuranger, and then we'll go back to TNA.
Yeah. Yay.
Oh boy.
You can find the main show at Wrestle Boys on Spotify or anywhere you can get a podcast. You can find this show, Tokuboys, at the same exact place. Which, by the way, you have to make a new account to do, which is kind of annoying. Thanks, Anchor.
You sons of bitches.
I'm sorry I have 2 irons in the fire. Fuck, man.
No. Support our ADHD driven madness.
I don't have ADHD. I have depression.
I also don't have ADHD. I just have autism.
Autism.
Autism. All right.
How do we end this?
By dancing, I guess. I don't know. Shit. Oh, I hate children.
Fuck them kids.